Hello, this is RICKY, the Android guy. Hey guys, today we're doing another side-by-side comparison, and this is between the Samsung Galaxy Tab 3 7.0 versus the Kindle Fire HDX 7. Now, the 7-inch tablet is a really interesting market which has done very well for Android, and probably one of the main reasons why Android has grown so quickly in the tablet realm. But between these two budget tablets, which one really is best? Let's find out and see which one really is the best bang for your buck. Now, when it comes to look and feel for the two devices, one takes a different approach, whereas one has taken the same approach for the past year or so. Samsung has definitely kept the same design for the most part with all of their tablets. Shiny plastic backing with which is very glossy and very fingerprint oriented. In terms of the device itself, very clean looking on the front. I do like the way it looks on the front with the standard now menu, home button, back. On a 7-inch tablet, it's very nice and becoming of it. Other than that, very lightweight, easy to use, and easy to palm one-handed, simply because the curves make it very easy to use in both portrait and in landscape. When it comes to the Kindle, they really have changed their design a lot from last year. They went with an entirely different back, and the soft texture feels a lot more premium than last year's model, and it really just does feel very good, very reminiscent of things like Lumia's as well as the One X from last year. Nice stereo speakers on the back with a little slight curve, which makes it easier, so if you lay it flat it won't muffle the sound, which where Samsung has it on the same side, this one has a lot better spread out, which is nice because mainly when you want to hear stereo sound, it's going to be in landscape mode, not in portrait mode. Something that a lot of tablet makers for 7-inch tablets still don't understand. The back buttons are interesting. You just, once you kind of get used to it, you'll figure them out right away where they are and where they feel. The front is very plain, nothing to it really in terms of design. Very lightweight for the device of a 7-inch, but the Samsung will definitely feel lighter in comparison to it. On this one, a really nice soft touch, and again, no real fingerprints can be left too much really on this. It can get a little, like, it looks dirty, but not as much as the plastic backing on Samsung's rear. So which one takes it for look and feel? Overall, although I'm not the biggest fan of the sharp edges as much, the Kindle Fire HDX definitely feels the best and most premium out of the two. Now when it comes to web browsing, we always take a look at the screen resolution first, namely the pixels per inch. On the Samsung, it's still the entry-level screen, which really needs to be updated. I mean, even at least to a 1280 by 800, because 1024 by 600 is only 169 pixels per inch, which isn't the clearest. Now, Samsung does have something called reading mode, which makes it just kind of line up easier so the text appears more crisp, but it still doesn't make up the difference compared to the 1080p screen on the Kindle Fire HDX, which is a 920 by 1200 resolution with a 323 pixels per inch, more or approximately double that of the Samsung screen. Now let's see how they actually operate in terms of web browsing. So for the two web browsers, I am using the stock one on the Samsung, whereas on the Kindle Fire HDX, I am actually using the Silk browser, which is what comes with it. They're both seeming to be about the same. This is a very heavy website. I always use this just to test out how good really the website loading can be. And both are struggling to finish. Again, this is a very heavy website. Most websites you will visit will load much quicker than this. And the Kindle Fire HDX is just finished first, and now the Samsung. So it's about a, I would say, 3 to 5 second difference. Not dramatic, but notable nonetheless. Now when we actually feel of which one runs smoother, let's see. So both have a good response. Both scroll very well. Now in pinch to zoom. So in terms of pinch to zoom, the Samsung does a bit better job. It's more fluid in the way it does it. And now with the double tap, oops. Well, let's see with the Kindle Fire. Kind of a stutter there with the double tap. And now let's see with the Samsung. So this is generally what I've seen for the most part. Although their speed difference is sometimes similar, when actually using the web browser, the Samsung does a much better job at actually just not necessarily loading page quicker, but making a better effect overall and easier web browsing experience. Now this does play a big factor simply for the fact that this has a much clearer screen. However, for more fluidity, I just have to give it for Samsung for this purpose. Not to mention, if you do have the LTE version, you can actually have split screen, having 2 web browsers at the same time. Now when it comes to music, we have very different layouts for the two. Samsung has their speakers on the bottom. They are stereo, but they're on the same side, which only gives a mono type sound. Now when it comes to the Kindle, we have them on the rear, but they aren't covered up because of the slant that the tablet produces. So let's take a look and see which one is the better for audio overall. We're going to start with the Kindle, then go to the Samsung, and then switch back and forth. All right.
Early in the morning was on the flight. I don't really know if it was wrong or right, but I knew this overnight. Always did it big way before the hype. I'm just trying to live, let me roll the dice. Gotta be the boss, can I own my life? Ain't knew this overnight. You wanna tell the leadership for show my type? My jewelry looking like I just went on the heist. Garage full of SUVs and motorbikes. You see, I always realized that it was more than life. Now it's back to this, I'm on rapid trips. Classy chicks that wanna have a kiss. When I was walking in the mailbox, etc. with a stack of chips to ship packages. Had a bucket list to get a platinum wrist, have platinum ship and get a platinum disc. Was a level I ain't really even have to hit. He was a done half of it. And now they telling me they really want the old school back. But where was you at when the old school act that exposed 2 cracks with a low cool rats who would laugh when they sometimes go too flat? Tell my enemies that I was born to win. I bet you never go against the boy again. You was a historian, go check the facts. I ain't going back. Keep your DeLorean.
Chasing pavements, hard times to change, and I can't be saving now. It's overnight.
Okay, so hopefully you could hear that very clearly, but the Kindle Fire HDX just has way better sound. The Samsung it's not that it's not good, it's just, it's really, it is very high. One thing that Samsung doesn't do on almost any of their tablets is produce a good bass to it. But with this one, it stands out more so, especially when comparing to these speakers, which are just clearly better. So for your overall music experience, you will have a better experience with the Kindle Fire HDX. Now, when it comes to their video watching experience, again, you have to take the display into account. The Samsung does have a bit of a brighter display, as you can see in the tones right away, but this is a 1080p screen as opposed to a under 720p screen on the Samsung. Let's check out how they play both videos. Okay, so hopefully that was a good representation for you, but what it really comes down to is the clarity is so much stronger on the Kindle HDX. However, it is important to note that the Samsung screen really is brighter and better with colors compared to the Kindle. Overall though, I just have to give it the clarity overall in video, so therefore the Kindle HDX does take it. Now when it comes to the cameras on both respective tablets, the Samsung is going to have a huge advantage. It has a rear camera, whereas the Kindle Fire HDX for the 7-inch version does not. This plays into a huge factor. Now in terms of their front face, they're pretty much on par with each other. And I would say in terms of color reproduction, the Kindle does a little bit better, but at the same time, it's definitely washed out, whereas the Samsung handles light better. So in terms of front cameras, either or will be decent. Nothing that's groundbreaking on either one, but of course you do have a 3-megapixel rear camera, which at least won't take the clearest photos, will take decent photos with the rear camera. So for that reason, you will have to go with the Samsung for your camera taking needs. Now when it comes to gaming, this was a really hard choice. On the one hand, you have the just no comparison better graphics on the Kindle Fire HDX. The graphics card is so much better in comparison to the Samsung. However, there's one big difference here, and that is the games that you can actually get. Just the Google Play Store has so many more games compared to the Kindle Fire HDX that I found myself struggling to find the 4 games that I was going to do for my gaming review. It was very difficult actually to find like top games that I wanted. Whereas on the Google Play Store, you of course have access to every single game on the market for the Google Play services. However, overall, when you do get a game, if you play the same game on either device, so if you're playing Modern Combat 4 on here or Modern Combat 4 on here, the gameplay is just so much better on the Kindle Fire HDX. So overall, I do have to give it to the Kindle Fire HDX for gaming. Now when it comes to battery life, the tablets are fairly similar. They will both give you over about a 7-hour usage with both devices, depending on how you use it, of course. However, overall in our experience, even when the Kindle has a larger battery, as when I first started this comparison, it's draining much quicker in comparison to the Samsung. So with taking that into account and our just daily usage, standby time is good on both. However, the Kindle definitely drains much quicker. Well, I would say about an hour worth quicker in comparison to the Samsung when actually using the tablets. Therefore, I would say overall the better battery life will go to the Samsung, peaking at around, I would say 7 to 8 hours for average use, whereas the Kindle seems to go about 6 to 7 hours more so. Of course, with power saving mode on here, you can extend that, and depending on how you use it, of course, you can extend this one. It all matters how you use it, but overall the battery life will be better with the Samsung. Now when it comes to extras, this is a big difference. The reason why I say that is extras are a huge difference when it comes to the Samsung. Samsung of course has some of the hardware extras. So you will have the micro SD card slot to actually add on storage right here on this side. You also, right here on this side. You also, of course, have the IR blaster right here to change TVs and control it. However, the big difference between these two has got to be the Google Play Store compared to only having the Amazon App Store. Google Play Store is just so much better than the Amazon App Store. I feel if Kindle would allow for Google Play Store on here, they would have a tablet that would far outsell not only the Samsung device, but really even give the Nexus 7 a run for its money in terms of bang for the buck. So overall, you're going to have much better extras with the Samsung. If you do have the LTE version, you also do have split screen as well, so you can have two apps open at the same time, important to note. But overall, just for the Play Store versus the Amazon App Store, the extras is definitely going to go to the Samsung tablet. Now, when it comes to price point, we have different devices. For the Kindle Fire HDX, it is coming in at $229 for a 7-inch tablet with 16 gigs of storage. However, on the Samsung, you do have normally priced at $199, currently at $179 for a 8 gig device. Now, what are the differences here? Well, obviously you are getting better hardware specs on the Kindle. So you do have better hardware specs for the most part on the Kindle comparing to the Samsung. However, one of the big differences we have to point out here is that with this one you can expand the memory, whereas this one you cannot. So if your storage is mainly not used in the cloud, or at least Amazon's cloud anyway, and you do want to save all of your music, movies, and everything like that on a micro SD card and need more than 16 gigs, the Samsung will be the better for the price. Even when comparing the LTE versions, the Kindle Fire HDX is at $329, whereas the Samsung is at $299. So either way you put it, the Kindle Fire will be more expensive and the Samsung will be the better bang for your buck in terms of price point. Now let's tally them up and see who won. When it comes to look and feel, the Kindle Fire HDX is just better look and feel. It just feels nice. The cornered edges aren't as nice as round, but still the overall look and feel just feels better. For web browsing, the Samsung Galaxy Tab 3 takes it despite the screen, which is again a narrow victory to say the least, but just the overall web browsing experience is so much better on the stock browser or Chrome browser compared to the Silk browser on the Kindle Fire. When it comes to music and movies, entertainment purposes, the Kindle Fire HDX is just going to be better. Better sound quality and better screen clarity. So that's going to easily give it to the Kindle Fire HDX. When it comes to the camera, the Samsung barely takes it just for the fact that you do have a rear camera on one and you don't have a rear camera on the other. In terms of clarity on the front face camera, they're both okay, nothing to write home about. When it comes to gaming, gaming is going to go to the Kindle Fire HDX simply for the fact that even though it has a limited amount of games compared to the Samsung, the games that you do have will play better. So for that instance, I will give it to the Kindle Fire. When it comes to battery life, the Samsung is just a bit better on battery life, especially when using it. As we were testing out when we were actually had both devices being used for this comparison, the Kindle was draining quicker than the Samsung was. In terms of extras, the Samsung just definitely takes the extras, not only for the obvious hardware features of expandable storage and IR Blaster, but you have the added feature of course, Google Play Store, which gives you a lot more apps compared to the Amazon App Store, and something that should definitely be taken into consideration when comparing these two tablets. When it comes to price points, Samsung is going to be better for the price. When it's on sale right now, you see there's a $50 difference, which can obviously get you things such as a case, such as a memory card, and certain add-on accessories, and giving you a better bang for your buck. So, in a narrow victory, the Samsung overtakes it overall 5-4. The Galaxy Tab 3 is really great for, I would say, average users. However, if you really are for the entertainment purposes of music, movies, and gaming, the Kindle Fire HDX would be a better choice. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and please give a like, thumbs up down below if you found this helpful. Thank you for watching. This has been RICKY, the Android Guy.